for being here. Muchas gracias. Merci beaucoup. Dankeschön. Grazie mille. Arigato. Obrigado. Şey. Shukran. Çok mamnun. And mutashakira in Farsi. I want to thank every one of you for making the choice to be here this morning and taking a step in your self-realization process and supporting the Human in the Making Foundation. You know, when we look around the globe, almost in every corner of our planet, there is pain, there is suffering, there is violence, and there is war. So, taking a step like this in our awareness, in our consciousness, gatherings like this is really more important than ever before. So I really would like to thank Mr. Habib Riazati and all the staff here who work so hard to bring us together and make these seminars happen. And of course, you being here is the real gift. Thank you. The topic today is removing the inner veils. But what does that mean? What does it mean to remove our inner veils? What is the first association we have when we think about the word veil? What would be the primary association?
Something that's concealing something.
Thank you. Perhaps the first immediate association would be with the physical veil. You have seen women to cover the face, cover the head, and cover the body. What is the meaning of that? What is the purpose? Is that something to hide behind? Is that something to cover? Is it choice? Is it forced? And then we move up to another kind of veil, the masks. Around the globe, there are a lot of cultures that they make different kind of masks, ceremonial masks. There are shamans, when they do their rituals, they wear a mask. And then we can go to Venice, Italy. I wonder if you have seen the elaborate masks that they make, taking us to the time of Romeo and Juliet, when people went to places that they didn't want to be recognized. They put on the mask and create mystery. But today's session is to explore our inner veils, our emotional and spiritual veils. What does it mean? How do we identify these veils? How do we remove them? What would be the goal of removing them? Do we have individual veils? Do we have family veils, things that we don't talk about? Do we have community veils? Or humanity at large? Are they conscious? Are they unconscious? So, if we are able to identify them and remove them, would that open the path to our freedom of our spirit, to joy, inner peace, and happiness that most of us long for if our basic needs are met? The psychologist Abraham Maslow, has talked about hierarchy of needs. It seems that humans are motivated by needs. So he has this pyramid, that on the base of the pyramid are very basic needs to sustain our physical being. Oxygen, water, food. And then we go to higher level of needs, like clothing or shelter. On top of the pyramid is self-realization, connection to our true self and our source, who we really are. He suggests that lower level of needs must be met in order we can go to higher level of needs. So self-realization might open the path to our happiness, to who we really are. So how do we identify these inner veils? Some say that when we get to inner veils, there are layers and layers of veils. Some say 1,000 masks that we wear. So within 30 minutes, naturally we are not going to cover all the 1,000 veils. But maybe I can share with you some of my clinical experience as the common ways that most of us have. I certainly do. On top of that list, and I'd like you to think about your possible veils as we explore this arena. Perhaps on the top of this list is fear. Fear and anxiety, shame, guilt, the negative limiting thoughts, like I can't, that critical inner voice that sometimes makes us feel not good enough. The whole arena of addiction, that could probably be a seminar all by itself for a whole day. Addiction to food, obesity is an issue in our society. Chemical dependency, alcohol and drugs that most of us are aware of. To medication prescription, I just recently heard in a presentation by Wayne Dyer that in the year 2007, more than 113 billion pills were prescribed. A lot of them anti-anxiety medication. What does that say about the psyche of our nation? And then we move to addictions to gambling, work, or even addiction to attention, validation, and all the addictions that probably we have observed in our life. All the distancing emotions that basically separate us from who we are, resulting in alienation and perhaps self-hatred, even though we may not be aware of it. We may not be conscious about it. Ralph Waldo Emerson says about the inner veils that when it comes to our inner psyche, what lies before us and what lies behind us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. So with our time limitation, I just would like to spend some time on the most potent one, fear. Probably we all experience fear at some point in our life. So, what is fear? How do we become so fearful? And what are our common fears? Some suggest that parents, maybe with good intention, wanting to protect their children from external harm, introduce fear. And maybe it's a lot easier to parent obedient children. On the higher level, some suggest that establishments induce fear and intimidation so they would have power over the people. So what are some of our common fears? What are we afraid of? They have done some research with college population, basically a survey, what are you afraid of? And you might imagine that on top of that list would be fear of death. But the interesting thing is that a lot of people have reported fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not good enough, fear of not being able to be successful, fear of alienation, fear of loneliness, fear of being judged, one of the very big ones, and a lot of fears that probably most of us experience at some point in our life. Some people suggest that the way we view ourselves and our relationship with the universe would make a difference, our perception. So some people suggest that we are the physical body. And when the body goes, that's the end of consciousness as we know it. Some people suggest that we are our physical body plus this invisible field of energy that we might call soul. So we are a physical body with a soul. And other people suggest that we are a soul temporarily in this physical body. I wonder if people here have heard about a Course in Miracle by any chance? All right. This course suggests that we have two primary emotions. Love that connect us to ourselves, to our true self, to our soul, and connects us to one another. And there is fear that separates us from our source. And that is the primary veil that blocks our awareness, our consciousness of who we really are. The thing is that if our basic needs are met, we have enough to eat and have water, at some point in life, we are likely to ask, who am I? Who are we? Where do we come from? What is the meaning of my existence here? And where do we go from here? Eckhart Tolle talks about humanity and awareness and consciousness. And it seems like when we look at civilizations, it seems like the civilizations come to a point, like a critical point, that as a civilization, humanity, we either evolve to a higher level of consciousness or they perish. And the question that we might be coming to this critical point in our humanity. And are we going to evolve? And what are the risks if we don't? So again, gatherings like this, especially on a Sunday morning, it really does make a difference. I would like to share a poem with you that says what I'm trying to convey in a beautiful, beautiful language. The poem is a little long, so without the permission of the author, I've taken some lines out in honor of our time. I hope the author wouldn't mind. I'd like to share this with you. It is called Please Hear What I'm Not Saying. Don't be fooled by me. Don't be fooled by the face I wear. For I wear a mask, 1,000 masks. Masks that I'm afraid to take off. And none of them is me. Pretending is an art that's second nature with me. But don't be fooled. For God's sake, don't be fooled. I give you the impression that I am secure, that it's all sunny and unruffled with me, within as well as without. That confidence is my name and coolness is my game. That the water's calm and I'm in command. That I need no one. But don't believe me. My surface may seem smooth, and my surface is my mask, ever varying and ever concealing. Beneath lies confusion, fear, and aloneness. But I hide this. I don't want anybody to know it. I panic at the thought of my weakness exposed. That's why I frantically create a mask to hide behind. A nonchalant, sophisticated mask to help me pretend, to shield me from the glance that knows. But such a glance is precisely my salvation, my only hope. And I know it. That is, it's followed by acceptance, if it's followed by love. It's the only thing that can liberate me from myself, from my own self-built prison walls. It's the only thing that will assure me of what I can assure myself, that I am really worth something. But I don't tell you this. I don't dare to. I'm afraid. I'm afraid your glance will not be followed by acceptance, will not be followed by love. I'm afraid you will think less of me, that you will laugh, and your laugh would kill me. I'm afraid that deep down, I'm nothing, and that you will see this and reject me. So I play my game, my desperate pretending game, with a facade of assurance without and a trembling child within. So begins the glittering but empty parade of masks, and my life becomes a front. I tell you everything that is really nothing, and nothing of what's really everything. So, of what's crying within me. So when I'm going through my routine, do not be fooled by what I'm not saying. Please listen carefully and try to hear what I'm not saying, what I would like to be able to say, what for survival I need to say, but what I can't say. I don't like hiding. I don't like playing superficial, phony games. I want to stop playing. I want to be genuine and spontaneous and me. But you've got to help me. You've got to hold out your hand, even when that's the last thing I seem to want. Only you can wipe away my eyes, the blank stare of the breathing dead. Only you can call me into aliveness. Each time you are kind, gentle, and encouraging. Each time you try to understand because you care. My heart begins to grow wings. Very small wings. Very feeble wings. But wings. With your power to touch me into feeling, you can breathe life into me. I want you to know that. I want you to know how important you are to me. How you can be a creator, an honest to God creator of the person that is me, if you choose to. You alone can break down the wall behind which I tremble. You alone can remove my mask. You alone can release me from shallow world of panic, from my lonely prison, if you choose to. Please choose to. Do not pass me by. It will not be easy for you. A long conviction of worthlessness builds strong walls. The nearer your approach to me, the blinder I may strike back. It's irrational, but despite what the books say about man, often I am irrational. The fight against the very thing I crowd out for. But I'm told that love is stronger than strong walls. And in this lies my hope. Please try to beat down those walls with firm hands, but with gentle hands. For a child is very sensitive. Who am I? You may wonder. I am someone you know very well. For I am every man you meet, and I am every woman you meet. This was written by Charles Finn in September of 1966. So, in conclusion, I would like to invite you today to maybe go to someone you don't know and greet them with love and acceptance. I wonder, when we feel loved and safe, we are more likely to drop our veils. Thank you.